Bedwars came out in 2017 on Hypixel, and even though it's been out for 4 years, more and more players are playing. So this is a quick video explaining how anyone can get better at Bedwars. Anybody can learn from this video, even someone who's been playing for years, because you can always improve if you get better at these things. Okay, so tip number 1 is to take advantage of knockback. Killing people is much easier when you knock them off. This may seem obvious, but knocking a player off is much faster and easier in most scenarios. This is because it doesn't matter how fast they click or how smart they are, if you knock them off, they're dead. Well, for the most part. There's many ways that you can get better at knocking people off, and the main ways are techniques like W tapping and S tapping. I won't get into how they work in this video, but they basically allow you to get a lot more knockback on each hit you deal by resetting your sprint. You can get better at dealing hits with high knockback and taking less knockback by playing sumo duels in the Hypixel duels menu. I played this for like 30 minutes with my friend and we both became 10 times better at dealing knockback. To reduce another person's knockback and get more on them, you can place blocks in front of them. This will stop their forward momentum, resulting in you dealing more knockback to them and them dealing less knockback to you. Tip number 2 is to get better at bridging. Bridging is important in Bedwars because the faster you can bridge, the faster different parts of the map are open to you. It's most important at the start of the game, so this is when you find yourself dying the most. You should probably try and learn to bridge faster. The most common bridging method in Bedwars is speed bridging, because it's the easiest to learn and most consistent. You might see even faster bridging methods like God bridging online, but these are hardly ever used in Bedwars. It's because they're really hard to learn and unreliable most of the time. You can practice bridging in the Bedwars practice mode, but remember that straight bridging isn't the only thing you need to be fast at, so don't forget to practice diagonal bridging and bridging up and even combining the two. To be honest, it only took me a few hours to learn speed bridging, thanks to the videos on YouTube. I'll probably make a speed bridging video soon, so remember to subscribe for more specific videos like that. Next, I'm going to talk about being creative. Bedwars is not just about winning in the easiest way possible, but to have fun and not get burnt out. This might sound dumb, but try to use many different items because most of them are there for a reason. For example, fire charges are great for knocking people off, but they're also great to propel yourself either up or over a player. Ladders are another item that are really useful because they stop fall damage and are really cheap. A couple of extra hearts can mean the difference between living or dying. It's also important to realise your strengths and weaknesses and to understand whether you'll be able to pull something like an ender pearl clutch or whether you'd be better just getting a diamond sword. It's important to remember that Bedwars isn't just as simple as sword and armor PvP, and you can use so many more items. This leads me on to resource management. It's important that you have the right resources and that you're spending them on the right things. At the start of the game, you want to make sure not to go into fights with spare iron and gold, because if you keep repeatedly dying, you'll be giving the enemy your forge. This is even more important on maps that have a slow forge. Diamonds are also really useful at the start of a game, because having protection 1 at the start can give you a big advantage. I would recommend spending your first diamonds on a mining fatigue trap and protection, and then as the game goes on, you should buy sharpness and then upgrade your forge, especially if you're on a map with a slow one. Remember to renew your mining fatigue throughout the game so that it makes it harder for the enemies to access your bed and alert you when they do. Emeralds are probably the most valuable resource, so it's important you use those correctly too. It really does depend on the situation and your skill level, but if you want to win, then although it's looked down upon, I would actually recommend getting obsidian. The amount of times it's won me a game is ridiculous. I'm also going to recommend that you buy wool every time you spawn. I never leave my base without it. There's loads of ways it can be used to your advantage, like when you're breaking someone's bed, using it to block players off so that it gives you more time. You can also use it to block TNT that's dropped on your own bed, and use it to block clutch if you're knocked off. This is just my opinion, but I think wool is the most important item in Bedwars.
That's going to be it for this video. If I sound a bit ill, it's because I am. I filmed this a lot later than all the other bits, but thanks so much for watching, and subscribe if you like that video. Obviously, I'll be bringing out so much more stuff, and if this does well, maybe even a part 2. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.